his time was short, said, "When I have left you, be not discouraged by the enmity of the world. Be not downcast even when faint-hearted believers turn against you and join hands with the enemies of the kingdom. If the world shall hate you, you should recall that it hated me even before it hated you. If you were of this world, then would the world love its own, but because you are not, the world refuses to love you. You are in this world, but your lives are not to be world-like. I have chosen you out of the world to represent the spirit of another world, even to this world from which you have been chosen. But always remember the words I have spoken to you. The servant is not greater than his master. If they dare to persecute me, they will also persecute you. If my words offend the unbelievers, so also will your words offend the ungodly. And all of this will they do to you, because they believe not in me, nor in him who sent me. So will you suffer many things for the sake of my gospel. But when you endure these tribulations, you should recall that I also suffered before you for the sake of this gospel of the heavenly kingdom." Many of those who will assail you are ignorant of the light of heaven, but this is not true of some who now persecute us. If we had not taught them the truth, they might do many strange things without falling under condemnation. But now, since they have known the light and presume to reject it, they have no excuse for their attitude. He who hates me hates my Father. It cannot be otherwise. The light which would save you if accepted can only condemn you if it is knowingly rejected. And what have I done to these men that they should hate me with such a terrible hatred? Nothing, save to offer them fellowship on earth and salvation in heaven. But have you not read in the Scripture the saying, "And they hated me without a cause"? But I will not leave you alone in the world. Very soon after I have gone, I will send you a Spirit helper. You shall have with you one who will take my place among you, one who will continue to teach you the way of truth, who will even comfort you. Let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, continue to believe also in me. Even though I must leave you, I will not be far from you. I have already told you that in my Father's universe there are many tarrying places. If this were not true, I would not have repeatedly told you about them. I am going to return to these worlds of light, stations in the Father's heaven, to which you shall sometime ascend. From these places I came into this world, and the hour is now at hand when I must return to my Father's work in the spheres on high. If I thus go before you into the Father's heavenly kingdom, so will I surely send for you, that you may be with me in the places that were prepared for the mortal sons of God before this world was. Even though I must leave you, I will be present with you in spirit, and eventually you shall be with me in person when you have ascended to me in my universe, even as I am about to ascend to my Father in his greater universe. And what I have told you is true and everlasting, even though you may not fully comprehend it. I go to the Father, and though you cannot now follow me, you shall certainly follow me in the ages to come. When Jesus sat down, Thomas arose and said, Master, we do not know where you are going, so of course we do not know the way. But we will follow you this very night, if you will show us the way. When Jesus heard Thomas, he answered, Thomas, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man goes to the Father except through me. All who find the Father first find me. If you know me, you know the way to the Father. And you do know me, for you have lived with me, and you now see me. But this teaching was too deep for many of the apostles, especially for Philip, who after speaking a few words with Nathanael arose and said, Master, show us the Father, and everything you have said will be made plain. And when Philip had spoken, Jesus said, Philip, have I been so long with you, and yet you do not even now know me? Again do I declare, he who has seen me has seen the Father. How can you then say, Show us the Father? Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? Have I not taught you that the words which I speak are not my words, but the words of the Father? I speak for the Father, and not of myself. I am in this world to do the Father's will, and that I have done. My Father abides in me and works through me. Believe me when I say that the Father is in me, and that I am in the Father. Or else believe me for the sake of the very life I have lived, for the work's sake. As the Master went aside to refresh himself with water, the 11 engaged in a spirited discussion of these teachings, and Peter was beginning to deliver himself of an extended speech when Jesus returned and beckoned them to be seated. 4. The Promised Helper. Jesus continued to teach, saying, When I have gone to the Father, and after he has fully accepted the work I have done for you on earth, and after I have received the final sovereignty of my own domain, I shall say to my Father, Having left my children alone on earth, it is in accordance with my promise to send them another teacher. And when the Father shall approve, I will pour out the Spirit of truth upon all flesh. Already is my Father's Spirit in your hearts, and when this day shall come, you will also have me with you, even as you now have the Father. This new gift is the Spirit of living truth. The unbelievers will not at first listen to the teachings of this Spirit, but the sons of light will all receive him gladly, and with a whole heart. And you shall know this Spirit when he comes, even as you have known me, and you will receive this gift in your hearts, and he will abide with you. You thus perceive that I am not going to leave you without help and guidance. I will not leave you desolate. Today I can be with you only in person. In the times to come I will be with you and all other men who desire my presence, wherever you may be, and with each of you at the same time. Do you not discern that it is better for me to go away, that I leave you in the flesh, so that I may the better and the more fully be with you in the Spirit? In just a few hours the world will see me no more, but you will continue to know me in your hearts, even until I send you this new teacher, the Spirit of truth. As I have lived with you in person, then shall I live in you. I shall be one with your personal experience in the Spirit kingdom. And when this has come to pass, you shall surely know that I am in the Father, and that, while your life is hid with the Father in me, I am also in you. I have loved the Father and have kept his word. You have loved me, and you will keep my word. As my Father has given me of his Spirit, so will I give you of my Spirit. And this Spirit of truth which I will bestow upon you shall guide and comfort you, and shall eventually lead you into all truth. I am telling you these things while I am still with you, that you may be the better prepared to endure those trials which are even now right upon us. And when this new day comes, you will be indwelt by the Son as well as by the Father. And these gifts of heaven will ever work the one with the other, even as the Father and I have wrought on earth and before your very eyes, as one person, the Son of Man. And this Spirit friend will bring to your remembrance everything I have taught you. As the Master paused for a moment, Judas Alphaeus made bold to ask one of the few questions which either he or his brother ever addressed to Jesus in public. Said Judas, Master, you have always lived among us as a friend. How shall we know you when you no longer manifest yourself to us, save by this Spirit? If the world sees you not, how shall we be certain about you? How will you show yourself to us? Jesus looked down upon them all, smiled, and said, My little children, I am going away, going back to my Father. In a little while you will not see me as you do here, as flesh and blood. In a very short time I am going to send you my Spirit, just like me, except for this material body. This new teacher is the Spirit of truth, who will live with each one of you in your hearts, and so will all the children of light be made one, and be drawn toward one another. And in this very manner will my Father and I be able to live in the souls of each one of you, and also in the hearts of all other men who love us, and make that love real in their experiences by loving one another, even as I am now loving you. Judas Alphaeus did not fully understand what the Master said, but he grasped the promise of the new teacher, and from the expression on Andrew's face he perceived that his question had been satisfactorily answered. 5. The Spirit of Truth. The new Helper which Jesus promised to send into the hearts of believers, to pour out upon all flesh, is the Spirit of truth. This